In a world flooded with superheroes who can't stop being heroic, serious, and annoyingly moral, one man in a red spandex suit dared to break all the rules. That man, of course, is Deadpool. But the story behind the Deadpool movies is even stranger than the movies themselves. It's a tale of leaks, budget cuts, absurd lawsuits, unicorns, and one actor's relentless obsession with making a superhero movie exactly how it should never be made. Today, we're diving into 40 of the weirdest, wildest, and most unbelievable facts about the Deadpool franchise, the things that almost didn't happen, the jokes that were too dark, the scenes that never made it to the screen, and the chaos that made the movie iconic. Deadpool wasn't allowed to talk for years. Before the first standalone movie, Deadpool appeared in X-Men Origins. Wolverine, incredibly, the studio banned him from speaking. Deadpool, the merc with a mouth, was rendered silent. The result? Barakapool, a version of Deadpool with sewn lips, laser eyes, and a muteness that literally offended comic book fans worldwide. It was an experiment in, what if we completely destroyed a beloved character, and it nearly ended the franchise before it began. Ryan Reynolds later admitted it was this injustice that fueled his obsession with making a proper Deadpool movie. Ryan Reynolds leaked the test footage. Legend says Reynolds leaked the test footage in 2014, but officially, no one will confirm. Unofficially, everyone knows he did. That footage sat on a hard drive for 4 years, largely ignored by Fox. When it finally went online, it went viral instantly. Fans were ecstatic. The internet collectively demanded a full-length movie. Without this leak, Deadpool may have remained a muted footnote in Wolverine's story. Reynolds even joked later, claiming he was 70% sure he didn't leak it, which in Deadpool math is basically a confession. The test footage sat hidden for 4 years. Before the internet discovered it, the Deadpool test footage simply collected dust. The filmmakers had shown it internally, but executives repeatedly rejected it, claiming audiences wouldn't get a self-aware R-rated superhero. This delay caused frustration and in hindsight, probably saved the franchise. It made the eventual film feel like a rebellion, a victory for both Reynolds and the fans who believed in the chaotic mercenary. The day before budget slash, a true Hollywood nightmare. Fox cut $7 million from Deadpool's budget the day before filming started. Entire sequences were removed, including a motorcycle chase, background X-Men shots, and planned stunts. The writers, true to Deadpool form, turned the cuts into jokes. Deadpool openly mocks budget constraints throughout the movie, makes fun of missing X-Men characters, and even roasts the studio in the opening credits. Sometimes, artistic brilliance comes from pure chaos. The opening credits roast the studio. Deadpool's opening credits are legendary because they insult everyone involved in making the movie. The studio, the writers, the actors, and even themselves. There's no director, just a douchebag who pretends to know what he's doing, and the screenwriter is labeled, a hero who nobody appreciates. Fox approved it because they assumed the movie wouldn't be taken seriously. The joke? They were wrong. The suit was torturous. The Deadpool suit was so tight it took 20 minutes just to take off. Reynolds had to endure multiple hours of shooting in near constant confinement, limiting bathroom breaks and making hydration a challenge. Yet he later admitted to stealing the suit from the studio when filming wrapped. Bathroom nightmares aside, the suit became iconic. Morena Baccarin's audition was unusual. Vanessa's character originally had adult-themed, more risque sequences in early drafts. Baccarin auditioned using material pulled directly from those drafts, which were far darker than the final film. The production team toned it down, but her audition left a strong impression on Reynolds, helping shape the character's chemistry with Deadpool. Blind Al's humor was darker than you think. Blind Al's jokes about cocaine, guns, and sexual tension were initially far darker. Early drafts had even more twisted gags hidden in her basement, but the studio felt they were too disturbing. The final jokes are still edgy enough to be unsettling, balancing comedy and discomfort masterfully. The baby hand scene was storyboarded like drama. The infamous baby hand scene was treated as a serious cinematic moment. The team carefully crafted lighting, camera angles, and composition, treating it like an emotional climax, ensuring the horror-comedy balance was perfect. It's a testament to the filmmaker's dedication to absurd detail. Baby legs in Deadpool 2 were worse. Early designs for Baby Deadpool in Deadpool 2 featured a fully baby-proportioned body. a tiny Wade Wilson with a full-size head. Test audiences were horrified, leading to a scaled-back version where only the legs were baby-sized. The final scene remains one of the most visually absurd moments in superhero cinema. Dopinder wasn't meant to return. The beloved taxi driver Dopinder was supposed to appear once and vanish. Fans loved him so much during test screenings that the writers rewrote Deadpool 2 to include him in a larger, absurdly violent narrative, including his own mini-crime spree, making him an accidental anti-hero. Ryan Reynolds played Juggernaut. Yes, Reynolds played Deadpool, but he also performed motion capture and voiced Juggernaut. The result? Deadpool fighting himself, with Reynolds arguing with himself in the motion capture booth. It's a cinematic self-inception of chaos rarely seen in superhero movies. Cable's casting saga. Brad Pitt was originally cast as Cable, with costume tests and photo shoots. Scheduling conflicts removed him from the role. Michael Shannon and Dolph Lundgren were considered. Josh Brolin joined last minute, already playing Thanos in the MCU, and perfectly balanced Cable's intensity with a wry sense of humor. Cable's metal arm was a nightmare. A physical metal arm was built for Brolin, but it was too heavy to move. The crew had to rely heavily on CGI, creating the illusion of a fully functional cybernetic arm, while Brolin mimed his movements, adding another layer of technical wizardry to the film. The Deadpool suit required 13 versions for micro-expressions. To capture subtle eye movements and facial expressions under the mask, the filmmakers created 13 slightly different masks. Each had different eye shapes, wrinkles, and flexibility, ensuring that Deadpool could emote despite being fully covered in latex. Deadpool's katanas had names. The swords were named B. Arthur and the other one, paying homage to Deadpool's comic book obsession with the actress. Fox refused to allow engraving, but Reynolds made sure the joke lived on in the script, keeping the meta-humor intact. The unicorn obsession was improvised. The iconic unicorn imagery wasn't in the original script. Reynolds added it during production, and it became a running gag, merchandise opportunity, and surreal symbol of Deadpool's absurdity. Reynolds voiced background characters. In post-production, Reynolds recorded screams, groans, and background dialogue for minor characters, making the film a one-man audio playground of chaos. The X-Mansion is almost empty on purpose. Deadpool jokes about only seeing 2 X-Men at the mansion because the studio couldn't afford more actors. This became a meta-joke and a subtle commentary on Fox's budget limitations. Stan Lee's cameo reused footage. Stan Lee's cameo wasn't filmed for Deadpool, it was recycled from unused footage from another project. The editing team inserted him seamlessly, creating one of the strangest but funniest celebrity appearances in comic film history. Deadpool was almost PG-13. Early drafts were written for a PG-13 audience. As Reynolds and the writers added crude jokes, meta-humor, violence, and nudity, the movie naturally evolved into the R-rated hit fans know today. Blake Lively influenced Vanessa's personality. Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively, provided feedback on early drafts of Vanessa's dialogue and character arc, shaping her humor, chemistry with Deadpool, and emotional presence. X-Force deaths were studio revenge. Fox demanded more superheroes. The writers added a full X-Force team, only to kill them all instantly in a gag-laden sequence, a subtle, hilarious protest against studio notes. The parachute scene was green-screened. Although it looks like high-stakes skydiving, the scene was shot entirely on green screen. Only props and costumes were practical. The result? A seamless, absurdly cinematic sequence. Reynolds and Jackman improvised scenes. Their on-screen chemistry came from improvisation. Many iconic jokes between Deadpool and Wolverine weren't scripted, but created spontaneously during filming. The Baby Hitler scene exists, but is cut. Deadpool going back in time to assassinate Baby Hitler was filmed and completed. Test audiences were disturbed, leading to the scene being permanently cut. Reynolds later joked it might appear in a director's cut someday, or never. The scripts included jokes the studio didn't understand. Whenever an executive asked explain this joke, the writers refused to change it. If Fox didn't understand it, it was assumed the audience would. It worked. Reynolds sustained injuries on simple stunts. Sword fights? Fine. Acrobatics? Fine. Sitting down in the suit? Painful. Reynolds' dedication extended even to mundane movements, highlighting the physical commitment behind the comedy. The unicorns became merchandise gold. The improvised unicorn obsession led to plush toys, t-shirts, and collectibles. Deadpool's surreal love for the mystical creature is now immortalized in stores worldwide. Colossus is 4 people in one. A voice actor, CGI model, mocap performer, and reference actor collaborated to create the on-screen Colossus. Voltron has nothing on this complex production feat. Reynolds drew Deadpool's Wolverine sketch, the childish crayon drawing of Wolverine on Deadpool's fridge. Reynolds made it himself during lunch. The prop team liked it so much it became canon. The script references real Hollywood chaos. The movie includes subtle nods to studio interference, leaked footage, Fulmine, Imwe Kirk Anso, Tomai, budget cuts, and fan obsession. Samai der Danderder ein Bonderburr. Deadpool is literally commenting on his own production history. X-Force sequences were edited multiple times. The filmmakers constantly tweaked the death sequences to balance dark humor, absurdity, and audience shock value, resulting in perfectly timed, ridiculous sequences. Reynolds recorded background screams. From minor henchmen to civilians, many of the minor sound effects came directly from Reynolds, ensuring Deadpool's chaotic influence permeates the entire film. Fans forced Deadpool into existence. Ultimately, the franchise exists because fans demanded it. Leaked footage went viral, emails poured in, and social media campaigns forced Fox to greenlight the project. Deadpool isn't just a superhero, he's a cinematic anomaly, a meta-commentary, a chaos engine, and a triumph of irreverent filmmaking. So the next time you watch Deadpool tear through villains, break walls, or obsess over unicorns, remember, everything you love about him was forged in chaos, rebellion, and maximum effort. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the weirdest secrets of Deadpool, like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because nothing in the Marvel or superhero world is ever as normal as it seems.